Hey guys, and welcome back to another Hot Lap Guide here on the Coach Dave Academy YouTube channel. My name's Matt Emery. We're here for week 2 at the Monza circuit. Let's get into the hot lap. So starting the lap down at the pit straight. In the race, you'll be taking this sort of line, cutting to the inside and then back to the left-hand side for your braking zone for turn 1. Braking just about the 150 meter board on the left-hand side. And then clip the sausage on the inside and the second curb as well. Still in second gear, no need to go down to first to help maximise traction. And then through Curva Grande, climbing up the gears, sticking it to the inside just to take the shortest line possible. And then again, heavy on the brakes, about 150 metres before the corner, down to third gear, clip the first sausage and the second one, and then all over the curb on the outside as well. Into the Lesmo corners, down to third gear, take a nice narrow line, don't get too much curb on the inside and use all of the exit curb. And into Lesmo 2, down to third gear, use all of the curb on the inside, and again, all of the exit curb as well. And then, again, taking the shortest line that we possibly can, clipping the apex curb on the inside, completely flat out under the old circuit. Then into Ascari, down to third gear, use all of the sausage curb on the inside, avoid the sausage on the right, and then use all of that sausage curb on the inside as well. Bit wiggly on the exit there, just watch your traction there. Then into the final corner, parabolica, sticking it to the left hand side as we go in. Heavy on the brakes, about 100 metres before the corner. In third gear, manage your traction and the throttle on the outside. And then in qualifying particularly, going to be wanting to take a nice short line to the line and cutting all of the circuit on the inside as well. So let's get into the hot lap guide then for the Monza circuit. Obviously heading down towards turn 1 along the pit straight. As I said, just taking the shortest line that you can towards turn 1 in the race, and then you're going to be hitting the brakes just before the 150 meter board on the left hand side. Handy references all along the fencing on the left, which you can use. Heavy braking up to about 80%, so you'll be very nice and straight on the 80, and just holding it there while we hit that initial brake pressure. So just slow that down a bit for you so you can see it in a bit more detail. So yeah, holding it about 80%. Not going too much above that, just to avoid any lockups, and then trailing the brake into the first apex. And again, this is how much you want to be across the turn 1 curb. Any more than this, and you're probably going to get a slowdown. So just look out for that one. But you want to be using as much curb as you can for turn 1. And then it's similar for turn 2 as well, just using all of the sausage curb on the inside. Helps with the rotation as well, actually. In some cars, it can actually hurt traction. But in the Porsche Cup car, it's no problem at all. Still in second gear, on the throttle. Again, you notice we're just being really nice and smooth once we get onto the throttle pedal. And then full blast, climbing up the gears. Sticking it to the inside, take the shortest line that we can. Make sure we don't scrub off any speeds. And then preparing ourselves for the next braking zone up to 6th gear. And you're braking just before this bridge. Just before you go onto this bridge before the next chicane. So you can see here, it's good braking reference. Also got the end of this orange Marshall post as well. And before the 100 meter boards as well for reference. And then into the corner, again, climbing up the brake pressure, about 80% on the brakes. And then down to 3rd gear, make sure we clip this apex curb as much as we can. Again, but just be careful we don't pick up a slowdown for this one. If you take a bit more than this, you do pick one up. So just be careful. And obviously just make sure we're turning in from the outside white line as well, as far to the right as we can. Yeah, down to 3rd gear, off the brakes, and then just a slight lift for this second sausage curb you can take. Again, no problem in this car. It's quite good on the curbs, so no problem at all. Just as you can see, we're full throttle. We come out initially, and then we drop it again just as we go over the curb, just so we don't unsettle the car too much. Then full throttle, using all of the exit curb. Make sure you don't put too much of your wheels on the gravel. And then into the Lesmo corners. This one, you just want about 20 or 30% on the brakes, just to get the nose in 3rd gear. As I said, you don't want to take too much of this inside curb. You go over it too much, it just unsettles the car. You want it to be nice and stable as you get on the power here. For your braking reference, there isn't really too much of one. You just want to use this maybe orange Marshall post and brake just a few meters before it. As I said, about 30% on the brakes is absolutely fine. Down to third gear, trailing all the way in, and then on the power early as we can. Use all of the exit curb as well. Any further than this outside white line, you might pick up an off track. Sorry, so just watch out for that one. And then stay left for the second Lesmo. Down to third gear again, all of the inside curb. And before we even get to the apex, we're already on the throttle. So just pay attention to that. Hitting the brakes just before the 50-meter board on the left-hand side. Again, about the same amount of pressure, if not a bit more. Using all of the inside curb and then on the power from about this point here. So before we even apex. And then full throttle, again, same thing again for the track limits, just this outside white line. As long as you've got a bit of your tyre on the curb, that's absolutely fine. And then up towards the Ascari, just taking the shortest line again, using a bit of the curb on the inside here, underneath the old circuit. Bit bumpy this part of the circuit as well. And heavy on the brakes, again, just in line with this banner here, this bridge across the circuit. And also this orange Marshall post as well as a good reference. About 80% on the brakes is quite a heavy braking zone again. And then clip the inside curbs. You can get away with this. A bit further than that, you're definitely going to pick out an off track. To be honest, this is probably the absolute limit that you can get away with. So I mean that's a perfect reference pretty much as the limit. And then on the throttle as early as you can, make sure you avoid these sausage curbs on the inside here as they unsettle the car slightly. And then on the exit, just clipping this sausage curb as well. So this is what the Ascari chicane looks like then in the Delta app. So you can see we're nice and smooth here on the brake trace, up to about 70%, 72% or so. And you've just got a really nice smooth trail off it as we get towards the apex. As I said, that is probably about the limit you can get away with on the sausage curbs. And you can see we just pick up the throttle once we're on back on the circuit from the curb, and then flat out briefly. Then we have a slight lift as we go over the exit curb as well. Again, as I said before, you guys can use this lap to compare to your time, so you can see where your weakest and strongest corners are. Got the delta up here, so just use the delta app and it will show you all of that good stuff. But yeah, back on with the hot lap guide. And then exiting the Ascari, bit of a wiggle there, not losing too much time, just watch the traction on the exit. And underneath another banner, heading towards the final corner for Parabolica. You can brake a lot later for this one than you think. So braking about the 100-meter board, you've got a nice bit of AstroTurf or green concrete on the left-hand side you can use, and also a white line as well across the track. That's really your braking reference. And again, up to about 80%, and just smoothly trail off the brake pedal. Just show you that in slow motion, sorry. So just really smooth up to about 80% and then trailing off it towards the apex, down to third gear. The curb, you don't really want to use it too much. You maybe want to follow it around a bit more and then get on the power when your car's a bit more straight. But don't want to use too much of the curb as it just unsettles the car slightly. And then take the shortest route to the line that you can. Cut all of the inside here for the shortest line, and that completes a lap. So that was the hot lap guide then for the Monza circuit for week 2 of the Porsche Cup Car Series. My name is Matt Emery. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Obviously, check out all the latest data packs on CoachDaveAcademy.com and check out all the latest tutorials and hot lap guides on the YouTube channel. But yeah, I will see you next week for week 3. So take care, guys.